heat pump here. What is it? Alright, so we're up here in the attic. The installation looks really good. We got 2 heat pump systems, a Trane and a Lennox. We're basically doing a inspection here. Going to take a quick picture of the data plate. Got a lot of nasty biological growth here. Looks like I've got this one running. Let's go ahead and take our tool bag off. Metering device. Typically, during these inspections, I just want to turn the power off real quick. At the disconnect. $36. What's that? 3.5. We got a lot of bacteria in this system. Oh, it's a 3-ton. Okay. Make sure the ductwork is adequate. But we do have biological growth in this system. For y'all that don't know, biological growth is just bacteria. It doesn't really affect me personally, but my daughter definitely affects her. So when it comes to this, I always recommend just getting it cleaned out and maybe installing UV lights to prevent it from growing again. Going to test this capacitor here. This is a 15 microfarad with a 5% tolerance. Turn your meter to microfarads. For me, you have to hit that select button twice. Actually, before you even do that, always make sure your test leads are good. And that's continuity, so we're good. For those scared of a little shock, go ahead and discharge your capacitor. You can see all that biological growth flying off these wires. Okay. During these service calls, it's probably wise to wear a mask and get some gloves, but look, dude. Well, I guess I'll have to deal with that in the future when I'm 50, and I'll look back at my life choices. But let's see what we get here. You're just gonna put 2 test leads on the on these capacitors. You're gonna get a reading here. We got 11.4. Take a picture. I don't think this one's good anymore. We're gonna do what's 15 minus 5%? 14. So this capacitor needs to get replaced, or it's not in range. No, obviously it's working, but it's also working inefficiently, and that's my point. Make sure that the heat strips are going. We do have rust on this coil. Let me go do a quick search on that before I turn this back on. I'll use the fill piece. Here, the diode tends to work pretty well for me. You guys can see this coil's extremely rusted out. I didn't even look at the I got the tonnage and didn't look at the year model. So that's a leak right there. Let me go back to it just to verify. Yeah, we definitely have a leak here. And once again, once you have leaks on your coil, it's going to decrease, especially for a heat pump, the cooling and heating performance or efficiency. Once it gets down to a certain point, you might notice the system not heating or cooling like it used to. So now we're at the outdoor units here, but I'm just going to check the capacitor for the upstairs Lennox. This is a 2021 Train, and this one's pretty much in great condition. But this one's definitely showing its age. One of the things I like to do so I don't lose the screws is here is put them back in their spot. Alright, once again, test your leads here. Continuity, they're good. Not getting any crazy readings. We're going to set them to microfarads. We just turned the power off. Actually, let me go verify that the power is off. Real quick. 0 volts, but you can also test each leg to ground. You can't see it, but I can. I get 0.1 and then 0.1. That would be a better way to verify that there's no voltage here. You just want to short these things out. I like to do common to Herm, fan to common. It takes about 2 seconds. Now you can see the C here, but usually common has 4 pins or 4 leads here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fan typically has 1 or 2, and then your hermetic side, depending on the capacitor, has 3 or 4. This is a 40 on the Herm and the 5 microfarad on the 5. So you can either get your schematic or your diagram on the back here to figure out what is what in terms of the colors. You never really want to assume, but for example, I think for some certain train systems, the hermetic is orange. With this one, it's yellow. You can either look at the capacitor itself, but sometimes these are rusted out. But if not, if you're not sure, just look at your schematic here and it'll tell you. Alright, so now that we have the capacitor discharged, now that we have it disconnected, we're going to set our meter to microfarads, and then you can leave the common wire plugged in, but we're going to go common to hermetic, Once again, we're looking for 45, 39.27 or 0.28 is really good. So at least on this side of the capacitor, we do not need to replace it. After that, you're going to reattach your lead. Make sure it's nice and tight and not loose. That can cause an issue where you get the call back. For the fan, we're going to do the same thing. Put one on the fan and then the other on common. We get 4.96, which is really good because this capacitor is rated at 5 for the fan. So we don't have to do or recommend anything for this capacitor. Even though there's a little bit of rust, it is functional and is within range.